Kaver-3 Ameerika Jalgpalli podcast.
Tere tulemast kuulama Kaver-3 Ameerika Jalgpalli podcasti, minu nimi on Ülar ja täna me teeme midagi teistsugust. Et kuna te juba teate, siis ma olen siin Saksamaal, siis mul on unnik importe ja roommate'e siin. Et siis me teeme täna midagi teistmoodi, kui te juba videot vaatate, siis te juba saate aru. Aga enne seda paar asja, me rääkisime selle suvepäevadest, vaata, viimased paar episoodi. Tundub, et selle vastu on huvi. Ma viskan ühe kuupäeva välja, 15 juuli. Mõelge, kas see oleks nagu tehtav teie poolt. Ja lisaks sellele, kui teil on ideid näiteks kus seda teha, sest et me võiks vabalt Saaremaal teha, ma võin nagu jumala ilusa paganama mereäärse koha leida, kus paganama saame sauna võtta, kõik siuksed asjad on, aga lihtsalt asukoha pärast, kas see on seda hustle'it väärt vaata üheks päevaks. Et kui teil on huvi, siis andke teada esiteks, kui sul on huvi osalema seal ja kui sul on ideid, kus selle teha võiks. Et siis andke lihtsalt meile teada, siis me teame ise edasi orgunnida. Ja 15 juuli pole enam kaugemast on. 2 kuu kaugusel, 3 kuu kaugusel. 2 kuu kaugusel tegelikult ainult. Et siis, aga meie tänane külaline ei oska eesti keelt. Võib-olla natuke oskab, veits saab aru võib-olla. Aga sellepärast me läheme inglise keele peale, et siis pole hullu eestlased oskavad suurem osa, saate aru küll, mis me räägime. So, today we have Onni Soininen.
Thank you for having me. Tere.
Yeah, obviously, yeah, you know where he's from. He's my Finnish roommate here in Potsdam, my linebacker. So if I screw up something, like he's back there to...
Here to make it right.
Yep, make the D-line right.
Yep.
So let's start there. Like that's the most common question I always ask is like, why American football? Like, because I know in Finland it is like more prevalent. Like compared to Estonia, but still it's a freaking Europe and American football.
Oh yeah, it's a tiny sport.
Yeah.
Why American football? Yeah. I think it was honestly just luck. I happened to have I've tried multiple sports when I was a kid. I think I started out as everyone does with soccer, did swimming, and then middle school came around. I got a computer and ended up becoming a nerd. Like I wouldn't leave the house. I'd run home and play video games all day. And then I had one of my friends start playing football and he kept on trying to, have me come to practice and try it out. And like for a good 6 months, I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I like playing my video games. I don't want to do it. And I agreed, told my dad about it. My dad is a semi-pro athlete. He was like, yeah, like great, like
finally get you out of the house.
Yeah, exactly, get me out of the house. And he drove me to practice. Went over there. I didn't actually get to practice properly because I didn't have pads. I go to practice, kind of do like all the walkthrough stuff and the non-contact stuff with no pads on. And then my dad after the week, like, oh, so like how are you liking it? I'm like, yeah, I kind of like it. And at that point, it was like, okay, we're going to go buy you the gear. So he bought me brand new everything from, back then it was on MEID in Helsinki, TMS football shop. I still remember walking in there. They gave me like the wackest.
You have back then, what year was it, roughly?
It's 2014.
Okay.
No, 2012. Yeah, 2012. 11 years ago.
And... You have a freaking store in Helsinki where you can just walk in and buy gear.
You could walk in. It was the only football store in Finland, I believe, at the time.
That's cool.
I don't know if it's the same one that runs. I think it's Jeffu Store now.
Yeah,
it might be the same folks.
Okay.
They just moved from Helsinki to Tampere, or where are they now? Is it Tampere?
I have no clue.
Anyway,
somewhere, yeah.
Yeah, I think they moved to middle of Finland, so it's closer to everyone.
Okay, so your dad kind of pushed you a little bit?
He gave me the encouragement. He never said like, oh, you need to do this.
Yeah.
But he was always there to, if whatever I wanted to try in my life, he was there to, support that choice. He would never force me to, like, he was a hockey player. Never ever did he even try to get me to a hockey practice. Okay. I think he realized how expensive it was. But like
more expensive than fucking football.
Very
Yeah, I know.
So and like I would have had to start when I was like 6 years old if I actually wanted to be good. So football was something that I
So how old were you? 11? 12?
14.
11 years ago. Yeah, that makes sense.
13, 14.
Yeah.
13, 14.
What's the youngest you can start playing in Finland usually?
U11, I think.
U11.
Yeah, U11.
And that's with pads, right?
Yeah, that's with pads.
There's probably like some flag stuff you could do earlier.
Could very well be.
Okay.
I think now you can go down to U9.
Okay.
The sport in Finland has expanded exponentially since I started.
U9, that's elementary school. Yeah, that's PV football very much.
PV football, yeah.
That's crazy, but that's good. So what was the team?
Espoo Devils.
Oh, Espoo Devils, okay.
Yeah.
Not the Helsinki, but because you're from Helsinki, right?
So I was born in Helsinki, moved to Espoo when I was 7 years old.
Okay.
And then, so I joined Espoo Devils. Now they're known as the Espoo Wolverines, associated with the Helsinki Wolverines.
Okay.
The Espoo branch.
Okay. And, you said you were kind of nerdy.
Oh yeah, I was a fat nerd.
Were you athletic when you first went there, or no?
Absolutely no. I had no muscle on me.
It's typical kid, like no natural ability. Okay,
no, nothing. Still don't, but
no, you have a little bit
natural, worked ability, but natural ability.
Okay.
No,
that's fair. But then you just, as you start playing it, you fell in love with it a little more, and then you...
Yeah, so the funny story with how I got into football was, so the first time I got my pads on, I'm still wearing, like, I'm blind, you know how, like, I have really bad vision, so I still had my glasses because I didn't have contacts for it. Yeah. So I had my contacts in my helmet, and, like, I look like an absolute idiot out there, like... The loose like practice mesh jerseys they used to have back then, the padded pants that usually you would wear during games. Like you look like an absolute idiot. You have no idea you look like an idiot, but you do. And they were like, "Okay, Onni, go play defensive line." Like that's what they put me as a defensive end. And we were practicing with the older, like we would practice U13, 15, and 17 would practice together because we didn't otherwise have enough folks. So I line up, I get through the offensive lineman on my first play. I think they just slid away from me, and I don't remember what happened, but I do remember that our I think he was probably 2 or 3 years older than I was, and like played football for a long time, and he absolutely levels me, and like and
that age group. That difference can be pretty big, right? Especially
insane. Like I had just gotten into like mid stage of puberty, and he was like a grown man at this point. Shout out to Lassi Newman, great running back. So yeah, he levels me. Coach is yelling like, "Onni, are you okay?" And I'm like, I'm there like looking like I've just been absolutely destroyed. I'm like, that was the coolest thing I've ever experienced. And that's how I fell in love with football. It's like the hitting aspect of the game is what I love.
Yeah, it's actually pretty similar to what I had. Like my first game was against Helsinki Wolverines in MEID, Roosters Field.
Oh, wow. At what age?
I was 16. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but like before the first game, I had 2 practices. One was without pads, and the second one got cancelled. So my first time ever putting pads on was in that first game. But at the same thing, I was on kickoff. Like I ran as fast as I could, and then somebody just blindsided me almost. Like I ended on my ass, like flew around there, and I opened my eyes like, shit, that's cool.
Yeah, like you can do this without any consequences to anyone. Like that's the coolest thing about football, I think.
Yeah, honestly, and that's similar here.
Yeah.
So. You played whatever you played. You 13 then. So in Finland, like
I think I went straight to U15 because like it was out of the season when I joined the team, and then when the season came around, I was part of the U15 team because it was in between that 14, 15. So yeah,
that makes sense. But in Finland, like, do you have like junior leagues or like how does it work? Is it 7-on-7? Is it 9-on-9?
Yeah, so. It's changed a lot now. I know I think U15 and up is 11-on-11, at least like the first division of it. But back when I started, it was 7-on-7 for U15, and then, or we called it D juniors. Then we had, so that was U15. It was the C juniors started playing 11-on-11, and then the second division was 7-on. So it just depends on if you're in the first division you played,
Okay.
Yeah.
But how many teams? Like 10 plus teams or
No,
like,
no,
hard
no.
to, like you almost played like the same team like multiple times in
I
the season,
I think there may have been like 6. I remember it used to be the big names were Crocodiles, which are still there, Turkish Trojans, Roosters, East City Giants.
yeah.
The 69ers were still existing back then from Helsinki. There were a lot of teams in Helsinki. Saints. And Jyväskylä, and then Oulu was like the northest one. Northern Lights was back then. That was a long trip every time. That's a really long trip.
Yep. Like been there a couple of times too. Like it's not fun, especially if you come from freaking Tallinn. It's even worse. Okay, so you gradually got better too, like football wise, or no?
I think so. Yeah, because so the first year I didn't get any playing time anywhere. Like I was this close to quitting because I didn't get any playing time, and that's because I didn't know what I was doing. Yeah. And then I remember I got 1 sack during I think it may have just been a practice, and then the coach at the time, who was just another junior player, he actually plays for Stuttgart Surge, Ville Valasti. Oh, really? Yeah, he was our player coach at the time. He was just an older. Yeah. So he was. Yeah. Okay. So when did he play for the Saints? Really?
That's when Turku folded.
I think we're thinking of a different Ville, but yeah.
Oh no.
The guy who went to Eastern Michigan. Him. Yeah, we're thinking of a different Ville.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he he had a sack in the practice. No, he may have a sack in a game. It was called the Snowball. It was like the tournament. Everything was playing in a tournament. So you would have 2 1-hour straight time games playing 2 different teams. Okay, and then, that's.
So you played multiple games?
Yeah, I played center and defensive end. Yeah.
Obviously.
Still a fat kid at this point. Still a fat kid.
Okay, so, but when you got to the high school and you finish high school even?
Yeah, I did 2 years in Finnish high school. So I played 2014, 15, 16, and then 17. I played basically every snap of football I could figure out. I played when I was a C junior. I would play C, B juniors because you were able to play 2 junior leagues at the same time, and then I would go try to take snaps in the men's 2nd division team.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I played.
Too, right?
Yeah, was it Tartu Titans? Yeah. I played against them once. That was, from what I remember, that was a fun game. I know there's one photo that I still vividly remember of a kickoff. Okay. And
that's cool connection. But I mean, we had fucking Kronas, man. There.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's crazy to think about. You guys we played against your 2nd team, Helsinki Wolverines 2nd team, and those are fucking barely high school kids.
Well, so there was no. I was one of the only people. There was a couple guys who would come and help out, substitute the men's team. But there was a lot of old guys. Yeah. Okay. There's a lot, especially on the 2nd team. It was just people who have football as a hobby.
Yeah. Just
hobby.
Just like we did. Okay. Yeah. So now so you ended up playing in high school first.
Yeah.
But you didn't just go there by yourself, right?
No, I did not.
You have that one organization, right? You can mention, right? That helps you to get to the high school in the US. But what's that process like? Yeah,
so again, same way as I started football, word of mouth. My friend Viljami, who's right now my trainer. Him. So he ended up going to Raven Gap, which is my Raven Gap Nakuchi school, which is in the mountains of Georgia, 2 hours northeast of Atlanta, right on the border.
Georgia, okay.
Yeah, north Georgia,
in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, in middle of nowhere, in middle of 2 mountains. It looked really cool. Yeah, it was an interesting experience. But so he went there a year before I went, and he kept on just, I think at the time we were using probably Snapchat still. Some would just send me videos and just tell me how his experience as an exchange student was. And
Because that experience that he went, but he still went there to play football too, right?
Yeah.
Like exchange program, right?
So it was through United Players, which is for mainly at the time it was football players and ice hockey players, guys. But now they do music, basically any sport you can play, women and men. So they try to send kids out to US to play.
That's a Finnish company?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's a Finnish company.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got the picture from him, and it looked pretty cool, probably, right?
Well, yeah, and he talked to the coach about me, and he was like, "Yeah, we'll gladly have another European guy join the team." Come to find out, there was, I think, on our offensive side of the ball, we had 10 nationalities out of 11 players to represent, like out of starting 11, 10 different nationalities. So there was a lot of international kids. So he basically was like, "Hey, you should come try out." My dad was fully like, yeah, go try that. Like, do an exchange here. It should be fun. And ended up going there. Played 1 year of high school ball. Ended up dating my coach's daughter at the time. And
That's interesting.
So we were at her. Like, my first year went pretty well. I started every game there. Enjoyed my time.
What position?
I played fullback and defensive tackle.
Both ways?
Yeah,
Still? Okay.
yeah, both ways. It wasn't a big school at the time. Like, we had to carry our bleachers into we played on the outfield of the softball field.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, it wasn't a big high school. There was
so you had the sand stuff?
No, it was a big grass field. Only on the outfield.
Okay, good.
But so we would have to, like, during on game days, on Fridays, we would have weightlifting class. So that weightlifting class wouldn't have weightlifting. We would go and carry out the bleachers from the softball field out to the outfield, so we could
play a football game.
Yeah, play a football game. Right.
Have an actual crowd there. Yeah.
Yep. And and it was always the juniors after the game would have to take the bleachers back.
Yeah, so, makes sense. Okay, so you got there. What's that process like? Because from my side, like, I've been an exchange student too, but I went through the YFU, which isn't actually meant for sports, but I kind of was able to play sports too there. So, like, what's like the cost actually of it back then?
It was pretty steep. I think I paid 20-something thousand euros for the whole year, because it's a private school.
It's a private school too, so you have to pay for school too.
Yeah, you have to pay for school. So I paid, I think it was somewhere around 17,000 euros for the school, and then $5,000 for the organization.
Okay.
But the second year I didn't pay a dime.
Oh, really? Oh, so that's good.
I think the school only asked me because the coach wanted me to play there, and I was dating the daughter, so
that helps.
He had an incentive on keeping me around. He went to talk to the shout out to Coach Miller. He had gone up to the principal and was like, "Hey, Onni wants to come back, but he doesn't have any money," which was true. Like, my parents said, like, "Yeah, we'd love to have you there, but we can't pay 20,000 euros every year for you to go to
especially
school."
when in Finland it's free.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, and so literally all I had to do was, I think I paid 2,000 euros, which would cover my insurance and my flights, and
so they pretty much gave you like a scholarship. Almost,
they gave me a full ride.
Okay,
to the high school.
That's good.
Yeah,
and academically. Okay, now other question now, because you did 2 years of high school in Finland first, right?
Yeah.
So which diploma did you get? You got the US high school only. You don't have a Finnish one.
I don't have a Finnish one.
You can't transfer them, right?
I don't think you can. I'm not very far away from graduating in Finland too. Technically, I could probably finish it. Oh, really? I could probably finish it in.
Okay. Well, I mean, you already
I have a college degree.
One, so it doesn't matter anymore. But okay, because I know I had trouble with. I had to skip a year because I couldn't take those US credits to the Estonia, and the systems are so much different.
Yeah, absolutely. They essentially held me back a year, because I would have graduated my first year I was in the States.
Oh, really?
Technically, I should have graduated.
Okay.
So, but they held me back a year since they wanted me to A, play football, and B, I needed the sufficient credits for,
of course,
because they don't work the same.
Yeah. So because you pretty much started from zero, right? In the US, you got some. Maybe you were able to transfer some credits.
I was able to get a bunch. I remember I didn't have to take, so because it was a Christian private school, everyone had to take at least one religious studies class.
Okay,
but I was able to make my religious studies from finish high school transfer over to the American high school. Yeah, I didn't have to do that. I got to take weightlifting instead.
Way better.
Yeah,
I think
that was like one of my like border like, which is weird because I'm somewhat religious now. Like,
okay,
but so like one of my conditions was like I'm not coming back if I have to take like if I can't take weightlifting. I have to take religious studies.
I mean, it's pretty helpful if you play football too. Like,
yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
In that sense. So in high school, so when you were in US and you, like you said, you played both ways, but it was a small school, right?
Yes, very
but you still wanted to go to college, right? If you're already in US high school, right? Or when did that idea come from?
Yeah, so I didn't.
You did?
I never thought about going to college in America. That would like didn't cross my mind until like end of senior year, like not end of senior year, but like end of the football season, my senior year.
So fall.
Yeah, because like I hadn't take the SAT. I know we had to practice SAT my junior year. Fell asleep during that.
Those are weird things.
Yeah,
like that's American system is weird. Yeah, I had to take them too. Like that system is weird.
Yeah, the SAT just in general, like, well, because I thought I was going to do just one exchange year and that's it. Like the idea to come back didn't happen until, so the seniors would graduate 2 weeks before everyone else would end school.
Yeah.
So the juniors, sophomores, freshmen would still be in school for 2 weeks. But so I was at my girlfriend's graduation party. She was a year older than I was. And so I was at the graduation party and my coach comes up to me and is like, so you're coming back for next year, right? I'm like, no. I'm like, no, I can't. I can't afford it. My parents won't pay for it.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, I can talk to
the principal.
Yeah. And like by sheer luck again, like someone else helping me out, I find out, hey, I can stay for another year. Had a long talk with my parents and my mom was still like, no, absolutely not. You're not staying in America. But my dad was like, just let the kid play football.
Let him have fun a little bit, right?
So,
so in a so when did in a senior season, like when did you have actually the idea, like I want to play college football?
When I got my first college offer.
Oh, you got actually.
Yeah.
So you were recruited actually.
Yeah, I had.
Even though it was a small high school.
Yeah, I did have to reach out to people. Like no one came to.
Yeah. Nobody notices Onni from Finland playing in kind of in the middle of nowhere there, right?
Yeah. So, I was very active on Twitter. I unfortunately spent money on NCSA. I don't know if you've heard of that. It's like a recruiting website, but like if you ask college coaches, like
it doesn't help.
They don't go on NCSA.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's essentially a way for you to directly contact college coaches.
Okay. Yeah, but actually it's Twitter, right?
Yeah, Twitter and camps.
Oh, yeah, camps too.
Yeah. So I went to one camp after my senior year.
In the springtime?
Yeah. Okay. So I went to one camp. Lawrence was there where I ended up going. The Lawrence coach was there, which was interesting because like Lawrence is in Wisconsin. The camp was in Atlanta. Yeah. So we had a coach from Lawrence come there. At the time, it was funny because you had to bring your GPA and like your scores. I had a 1040 on the SAT, which is not very high. Yeah. I again fell asleep during the test.
Yeah, that doesn't usually help.
I swear I'm not dumb. I swear no, but like I just didn't care because I didn't think I was going to go to college.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I just didn't care for it.
That's exactly what I did.
Yeah, same ACT, SAT weren't very good.
Okay.
My GPA was like a 3.2 at the time of the camp, which is still like it's not low, but it's not very high.
Yeah, exactly. But especially when your SAT scores are little low too, because they combine those two, right?
Yeah.
So okay.
I went to the booth before the camp. They had booths for different schools, and I remember the Lawrence coach looked at my friend's papers. Like he had a 3.9 GPA, like a little bit more athletic. We both actually ended up going to Lawrence. Shout out to Lucas. He the coach looks at my GPA and goes, your GPA is a little low for us, but we'll also get your like contact information. He didn't. I don't think he even got the contact information, but so. weeks go by after the camp, and now they start contacting my friend Lucas, who we lived in dorms at the school.
Okay.
Like I didn't have a host family. I lived in a dorm there. So he lived right across, and he started telling me about he's getting recruited by Lawrence. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like I've contacted all these schools, and I think I had already gotten accepted into Millsaps College, which is in Jackson, Mississippi, which is right by Jackson State, where Dion was last year.
Yeah, and that's Division 3 still.
Yeah, Division 3. I got a preferred walk-on by a shorter university.
That's D1?
D2.
Okay.
In Georgia.
Okay.
And then they said they'd give me a roster spot at Georgia State, but I was like, there's no shot I'm going to Georgia State.
Yeah.
No shot.
Yeah,
I don't belong. I went on a visit over there, and the coach introduced me to all the linebackers and during like a pregame thing, and I was like, this is not my spot. Everyone was 6'2" and like 260. Jacked. I was like, yeah,
that's not a different level.
Yeah, I was 183 like in pounds. So what is that, like 80
kilos?
80 kilos or something. 5'8". Like it's not my spot.
Yeah. Okay, makes sense. So, but how did you end up in Lawrence then? When your friend got recruited.
Yeah, my friend got recruited. He mentions me that I was also at the camp, and now the coach starts recruiting me. Coach Boone. You're good. So Coach Boone, he was the guy who was recruiting us, and he was the only guy out of I've talked to a lot of D3 school. I went on, I think, 5 visits.
Oh, really?
To multiple.
So there was interest, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. There's definitely interest, but like it was just all D3. So it just came down to what's the best school fit for me and who gives me the most financial aid.
Yeah. That's
so,
part.
And what separated Lawrence from everybody else was that the other coaches did the bare minimum. They would, call me once or twice and be like, hey, what do you think? Whereas Coach Boone would call me every other day and be like, hey, what do you think about Lawrence? What do you think about Lawrence? Are you're coming, right? Like you're coming, right?
And then you feel wanted a little bit too,
absolutely,
right?
Yeah. I've and so they flew me out to Wisconsin for a visit. I had a great time.
But where is it in Wisconsin? Kind of in the middle of
Appleton? No, Appleton, Wisconsin. It's a little town of 70,000 people, 20 minutes south of Green Bay.
Oh,
we're in Packerland.
Packerland, okay, yeah.
So, I had a good time over there. Met with the guys, and it reminded me a lot of Finland. Like it looks a lot like Jyväskylä or something like that.
Oh, really? Like foresty and like harsh weather.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, yeah, very harsh. Negative 43 Celsius my first year there.
Yo, that's the fucking record in Estonian history.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was cold for me too. Very cold.
That's different. Okay, and then you got some financial aid too, because in Division 3 you don't have scholarship, which sucks. But you got some financial aid, right?
Yeah. I got a pretty good amount of financial. Lawrence is an expensive school.
It's a private too, right?
Yeah, private school.
Okay.
Yep.
And what they are known for, like academically, like what type, what field?
So then, actually, it's music.
Oh, really? Music.
And then like chemistry, bio, and physics is like coming close second. So we are called actually the Harvard of the Midwest.
Ah, okay. So
which is, I think a bit of a stretch, but it is very highly academic.
That's why he was so worried about your 3.2 GPA, which isn't actually that bad. Like
the minimum I looked at it online and it says minimum you need is a 3.5. So I think
out of 4, by the way. Yeah, it's a US standard, not it's European.
So it would be, I don't know what grading system in Finland, that would be like a 9 out of like we go from 4 to 10, so like a 9 is the closest to it.
Wait, what you do? You go
4 is a fail. 4, and you have 5, which is like meh, and then 6 is like passing. 7 is like average. 8 is good. 9
Who came up with that?
I have no idea.
We still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Isn't that good enough?
I have no idea.
Okay, that's funny. But still, either way, you got in. And you got in a little bit because of football too, right?
I think because of football and then being Finnish. Lawrence values, so it's a liberal arts Division 3 college. So they value that diversity aspect a lot. And I mean, I would hope it's because they were like, oh, this kid is probably smart. He's coming from Finland. And like, I just hope it wasn't just because like, oh, I'm the Finnish kid. Yeah, we gotta have a Finnish guy on campus.
Yeah, mix it up a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So you played, but still, let's go back to high school because like my high school experience, like I played only 1 year in Ohio, but I lived in a football village. It wasn't actually even a town. It was a freaking 3,000 people, I think. But like you see in movie Friday Night Lights, it's kind of like that. The entire town is empty when we go to the games, and like it's a freaking cool experience. Like it's hard.
I bet it was.
It's hard to explain it.
I somehow managed to find the 2 schools in America that I went to that where no one cared about football.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
So your high school, like the best memory from football?
Best memory from football, we beat our rival school Asheville in overtime in their house with like by an inch. Like
which way did you score a touchdown? Or
we scored a touchdown. I was the fullback. We would run the double wing offense.
Yeah.
And our coach, we scored a touchdown, and it was either kick a like field goal to go into double overtime, or then
get 2 points.
Or then get 2 points. And my friend Glenn Pierce, he goes like, "Coach, give me the ball." Like it was one of those moments like, yeah, I'm that guy.
From a 2-yard line?
Yeah, from 2-yard line, we punched it in, won the game. Greatest, moment of football career probably right there.
That's a away game too, right?
Yeah, away game. Yeah, in Asheville, North Carolina. Great atmosphere there.
Drive home had to be
it was great. It was great.
Usually those are the best ones. Like when you get the big upsets like away, and then you can go drive home, and those are okay. So were you what were your records for 2 years? Like were you actually like competing for playoffs and stuff in high school, or?
So first year we didn't make the playoffs. I think we went 3-6.
Okay. Yeah.
3-6. Not a great year. My senior year, I think we went 5-5, made that, like, I think it was an 8th seed. So we were the last seed in the playoffs, and we lost a really tight game in the first round of the playoffs.
Okay.
It was tough. It was, my last game, and, I did literally everything I could during that game. I played offense, defense, special teams, anything I could in that game, and it just wasn't enough.
Okay. No, I mean, high school, like my experience too. So sometimes you run against those juggernauts in high school. Like the talent level is crazy too. Like school.
And we just didn't have the talent. Now Raven Gap is known for their football team. Like
really?
After I left, their football team has grown. Like we have a stadium now. We have a booster club. I think this year we have 3 kids going D1. There's a old from last year. I think he plays at Michigan now, a German kid. But so it's all these European kids going
there.
Yeah, from
really?
I think PPI is the organization that is sending them. Oh no, Gridiron Imports.
Okay,
yeah, they send a lot of people over there.
Okay, just as an exchange / high school students.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. That's smart, actually. You see more and more, because we just had an interview with our boy who's gonna go to UMass now.
Yep.
Like he went through all those freaking camps and stuff. Like same like with Peter, like our Finnish teammate here. Like it's like they are starting to recruit more and more from Europe. Actually,
absolutely, and
especially at the high school level, it's pretty like it can be an advantage, because in college, the level of play maybe sticks out more, especially in the beginning. But like I think high school wise, it's really smart.
Yeah, and like high schools, I think there's like big limits on how many. You can't have imports on it. But you can bring European kids to exchange students to your team. Like,
I mean, my school was legendary for like my host family.
Yeah.
We had Danish kids, German kids, and then one fucking Estonian showed up. And like everybody only wanted to play football. Like that's ridiculous actually. But I mean, it works. So it's cool. So you were done with your high school. You got your high school diploma. So you got accepted to Lawrence in Wisconsin, like almost like Finland. And so, how often did you go home in your after high school? Like every summer you got to go home,
so
or
one big reason why I did choose Lawrence also was not only because of good academics, but Lawrence ran on a trimester system instead of semesters. So we had 3 terms. So we would have a really long, so spring break was only a week-ish, but then Christmas break was a month and like a week or 2 weeks.
Oh,
so
okay.
it would go from the day before Thanksgiving to day after New Year's. It was winter break. So I got to go home for a month, basically.
Okay.
And then the same thing with summer break was like your couple...
2 months?
2 months.
Oh, okay.
So that was like a nice time for me to go home twice a year, and I could even work during that time to kind of make back the money, we paid for.
Yeah. So, but when you get to the Lawrence, was the learning curve steep, like compared to high school where you came from to Division 3? Like,
so I think, I had to learn a working morale, like how to actually
train properly.
So are we talking academics wise or football wise?
Football right now.
Oh, football wise. Yeah, I thought I was gonna be, starter from day one.
Okay.
No, I was every year at Lawrence until not every year. So freshman, sophomore year, junior year we didn't technically. Sophomore year we didn't even really have because of COVID.
COVID, right?
But so my football sophomore year, I was still in the beginning of the season, I was at the bottom of the depth chart.
Okay.
But it ended up always like I kept on climbing up those depth charts, which was...
And they moved you now only on defense, right?
Yeah. So I got recruited to Lawrence as a linebacker.
Okay.
My senior year of high school, I also just played basically linebacker, a little bit of running back here and there. But yeah, I only played linebacker in senior year of high school. I managed to make the all-state team there, and that's how I got recruited.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But still, in Lawrence, only linebacker, right?
Only middle linebacker.
Only Mike linebacker.
Yeah,
okay.
Only Mike linebacker. I just wasn't the fastest. I was doing this like meathead stuff. Doing powerlifting, bodybuilding stuff. I just wasn't that shifty.
Okay. Old school Mike linebacker there.
Yeah. So, huge learning curve. We had a very good defensive coordinator come in my freshman year, Coach Bo Flowers. He had coached at, he was at Eastern Michigan before, University of Chicago. Then he came to us.
So Division 1?
Yeah. He was a Division 1 coach. Super smart, had a very good scheme, a little 4-2-5 scheme. It was a very sophisticated playbook, and I didn't understand a lot of football concepts at this point. And I didn't really understand until my end of sophomore year, when during COVID, I would just sit down with the coach and just kind of learn how it actually works, because I wanted to play.
Because like one thing about football, like maybe people who have never played it, is like the mental side of the game is maybe even bigger than the physical side to a certain degree.
Absolutely.
Like it is literally chess on a field.
Yeah.
Like you have to know, like we've all had those dumb teammates who are like freaking freaks of nature, but they can't do the simplest thing.
Yeah.
And so this is a really good experience. So when you finally figured it out in a classroom, that's when you got more playing time, right?
Especially as a Mike backer, because the Mike backer in that defense was the quarterback of the defense.
Because you made the calls, right?
I had to set the front. I had to make the coverage call. The only thing I didn't have to do was make coverage checks, but that's it.
Okay, so pretty much everything.
Yeah. I had to know everything that was going. And Coach Bo was very, he required a lot from you, because he'd give you a lot of information, but he also wanted you to know it by heart after he told you. So, I'm very glad he sat down with me a lot of times and just explained concepts.
Yeah, and I mean that's why COVID year kind of helped also. Like you used it to your advantage. Let's put it that way. When other guys were just sitting on their ass and doing too much, you at least took it up on yourself. It's like, fuck, let's get better now. That's my chance. So after COVID, you played 2 more years?
No, then it was my senior year.
That was the senior year,
yeah.
Okay.
So basically I lost, no, hold on.
20 was the COVID.
So freshman year was normal.
Yeah.
Sophomore year, No, that wasn't COVID. Junior year was my COVID year.
Okay.
Yeah. And then so sophomore year I started like 50% of the games.
Okay.
It was an okay year. And then I was still learning. Then COVID came. We had a coaching staff change.
Okay.
Everything changed. Our new literally every coach that we had was fired. And
ouch. Before your senior season.
Yeah, except for Coach Bo, he remained, but then he got a Division 1 offer and took that.
Left.
And left,
makes sense.
Which is okay. We had a new defensive coordinator come in who was actually a Lawrence alum. Ended up, I think he's coached a lot of D2 and D3 ball.
Okay.
Before. So it went okay. A little bit of a different scheme, but there I played every snap.
In your senior season, right?
Yeah, in my senior year, but I ended up. He moved to outside linebacker and defensive end because of some roster issues.
Oh, okay. So you played a little bit. Oh, that's why you played T end last year here too, because you have some experience. Okay, that's good. So take the football to a side. What did you study actually in uni?
So I am a biology major. I went the pre-med track. So technically I have the I guess I could apply to med school. I think I need to still take one biochem class if I want to apply to med school, but essentially pre-med.
Okay. And you graduated, right? You got your diploma and everything?
Last summer.
Okay. So good. You got that. So now you kind of did it already in high school. You were away from your home and your family for a long periods of time. So like university wasn't that much different, right? It was the same.
No, it was literally the same.
Yeah, because you lived in a dorm the same way, right?
Small school. I went from 300 kids or 400 kids in my high school to 1,800, I think.
It's pretty small for university.
Yeah, it's a very small university.
Yeah, but how was the college life in general? Like you don't have to go in depth, but
no.
Like that was like a fun experience, right?
Yeah, but Lawrence is very different from most colleges. So
in which way?
The culture is just so different. Like you're in Wisconsin, you're in this like small city, but everyone is forced to live on campus for 4 years.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
Everyone has to live on campus for 4 years unless.
So they have a little bit more control over you, like.
Yeah.
Okay.
We call it the Lawrence bubble. Like, we're in the middle of a city, but no one.
Nobody can leave, really. Yeah.
Well, you can, like, there's the College Avenue and stuff.
Yeah.
But no one really leaves because there's very limited parking spaces, so no one brings their car. If they do, it's a hassle, and. Like you're always afraid, like, oh, if I leave with my car now, I'm gonna lose my parking spot. Yeah. So that was a major issue. But it just like culture-wise, like there was so much like academic pressure that a lot of people would. So we called it the Lawrence Olympics. It was like people would just compete on how much they're tired from like learning. Like, oh, you pulled an all-nighter. Like, oh, well, I pulled an all-nighter and like had practice, or like I pulled an all-nighter and wrote 3 essays.
You were competing on that shit? Okay.
Like most,
no,
like, that was a culture around it. I didn't like academically. I don't want to like. I'm not a academic nerd by any means. I got my stuff done. I graduated with pretty good grades. It's just like, well, freshman year was tough. I didn't know how to write properly. Like I can speak and
like English, you mean?
Yeah, but writing essays like in English was hard.
That's why I'm an engineer. I didn't have to write the paper. I know.
So Lawrence was very academically challenging, and the culture around it is also like very academic. Like athletes are kind of seen even as like the outcasts.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it got better as time went on. I think the football team and hockey team during my time there made it a little bit more like athlete friendly.
Okay.
But there used to be a huge feud between like the art side, because you would have the academic campus where it's like all the normal,
like regular students,
students, and then you have the con, which is now you're singing and music.
Oh, okay.
So it's called it's a university because it offers master's courses in music, like music theory and stuff like that. Like, like my roommate who played D tackle for us, he's I can't remember now what the major is called, but like he was a composer, a singer. Like he was an opera singer.
Well, okay, and playing football.
And played football.
That's interesting.
And was very good at it too.
Okay.
Zach, come to Europe. Come play.
Yeah, like a recruiting pitch.
You can still do it.
But then it was different, but at the same time, like if you compare it to like what you saw in Finland, because even though you didn't go to college in Finland, but you had pretty good idea how it works.
Yeah. Very
Europe.
different than like, very, very different as Finnish college, but like it's somewhere in between of like European college life and then what you see in movies about American college life.
Okay, a
like
little bit. But you still had fun. Like college. Okay.
Yeah, Lawrence was a very good time. Like I paid money for it. I don't regret paying a dime.
Okay, that's good. That's good. At the end of the day, that's why you do that. So you were done with football. You got your degree, right? But all those summers, we kind of briefly talked about it. Like you came over to Finland. You played too in Finland, right? In the summer.
Yeah.
Football.
I came and played during the COVID year. I went to the UNC Crusaders, played Division 1 over there. We won the championship there. Still my only championship
Division
in my
1?
Finland career.
Finland, right?
Yeah, finished Division 1.
So which isn't the highest. Maple League is the highest.
Yeah.
It's a funny system.
Yeah. Anyway, so did that. That was super fun. And then I would just be with the Wolverines most
of the summers. Yeah. Okay. And how did you fucking hold up? Like you play an entire summer and then fall too, like immediately.
I don't know. Like I feel like it gave. Body wise, it started to hurt some point, but like I've been relatively lucky with injuries, knock on wood, but just nothing major. Oh, like a little
nicks and that's normal. Like
yeah.
Like right now, like we're gonna have our first game in two days. Kind of bruised up a little bit. It's fine.
Yeah. Like it's belongs to the sport.
Yeah. Okay. So that's fucking impressive though. Yeah. But I know we had, when I was in Finland, we had a couple of guys too, like who were in Division 3 and they played with us like most of the season and then they had to leave. Like I was like, you're gonna go from straight, our season is ending and then now you're gonna go to training camp?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah. So I feel like it was a good thing and a bad thing because like, now I have that football conditioning in me because like the first weeks of training camp is tough if you haven't played football. So that wasn't the hard part. But when it gets to that like the
October, November,
like the dog days of the season, that's when
that's when you feel it most likely, right?
I've played football now for 6 months.
Okay. So you were done with your college.
Yep.
Any interest for any professional? Don't except Europe for now. Any interest? Nothing.
No. I was gonna. So after my senior year of football, I don't want to say I disliked football. It was just like I was kind of like just done with it. I lost my senior game to COVID. Like we had a COVID outbreak in the team.
Fuck.
A lot of people weren't vaccinated at the time, so we weren't able to play my last game of my senior year. So I was just like, man, like
sour taste in your mouth.
Yeah, like this might just be like for my football career. I think it might be over.
Okay.
And
but you knew what's going on in Europe anyway, so because
I knew so I didn't. I mentioned again, a friend paved the way. I mentioned to my friend Billy. He's playing right now for the Basel Gladiators, a quarterback over there in Switzerland.
Oh, okay.
And I told him about Euro players because I knew a lot of the imports to Finnish teams had used Euro players. Mm-hmm. So I told him like, hey, like if you still want to play overseas, you can make a profile here and people contact you. I didn't know how it worked, but like I had the idea of how it is here. So I was like, well, he made his and got offered. Why not make mine? I just made it as a meme one day. Like I took 15 minutes out of my day. Like I think it was probably during a class too.
Okay.
I made my profile and then just left it.
Yeah.
And I had a couple teams
at least show interest.
Yeah, it was the Solar, I don't know how to say it, the Danish team, the Gold Diggers.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they contacted me. Wasn't very much of an interesting offer, but like it was like, oh, like somebody might want
actually, yeah, I want to pay you a little bit something.
Because I was ready to be done with football.
Yeah.
I might start coaching.
Okay.
I had an offer to go coach in the States.
Wow, nice.
But then I started doing bodybuilding again. That was fun for a while. Then I started
just so you can lift.
I literally lifted 7 times a week, sometimes twice a day. Just went to the gym with my roommate.
Yeah, that doesn't help for football. It doesn't hurt for football either. Though you just kind of stay in shape at least.
Yeah. I was still doing athletic stuff. Like I started playing ice hockey for the first time during my at the end after my senior year of football. I was like, I had to think of some kind of a team sport. Like I hated cardio.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to do cardio. I was like,
guess what sport Finn will choose? Yeah, Finnish people choose fucking ice hockey.
Yeah. Ice hockey. Yeah.
Okay, so but when you were when you were done, you did your Euro Players account. That's like you said, that's the platform for most of the. I don't know anymore.
I wasn't graduated. I was still in school.
You were still in school. Oh, okay.
So football season ends in the fall. And then I still have the 2 trimesters to go through school. And that was like emptiness for me. So I was like, I made a profile on Europlayers, had a couple teams come up to me, and then started doing other stuff, just focusing not on football. And I still had my military service. I applied to the military sports unit, got in that. And then after that, the Royals contacted me. David contacted me and was like, hey, I come play some football. I was like, maybe if the price is right, and he gave me the right price, and I was like, hey, but I still need to graduate. And they were like, oh, that's cool. Just join us like mid-season. And
really?
Yeah.
Okay. And then that's how you ended up in Potsdam.
Yep. That's how I ended up here.
In GFL, I mean, one of the highest leagues in Europe. You can make that argument.
Yeah. I think we would have given ELF a run for their money last year. At least most teams.
And so you got here midway through the season, right? When you graduated in US, and now you were finally back in Europe after 6 years, pretty much.
Yep.
Pretty much. And was there a culture shock? Even though like Germany and Finland, they are different, but like coming back to Europe in general.
Going back to Finland, no. But coming to Germany, huge. Like not huge, but a mild culture shock because no one spoke English.
Okay, true.
I didn't speak a word of German at that time.
Yeah, I'm experiencing it right now.
Yeah. So
it's challenging, but could be worse. Could be worse.
Absolutely. Yeah. And like this Potsdam is a great city. I like how the city is. It's very easy to move around. People are
nice, small town vibes.
Yeah.
Small town vibes. Yeah. So you got here, joined Royals. Who were last year, who were a freaking juggernaut in GFL. Like you went 12-0 in a regular season, right? And made it all the way to the German Bowl against Unicorns.
Yep.
However you say their first name, wherever they're from.
Schwäbisch Hall.
Schwäbisch Hall, yeah. German again. You played,
there one day.
Yeah. My thumb head, maybe not, but who knows? But here you played D-line though, right?
Yeah. So as far as I remember, I might be a little bit fuzzy on this now, but I'm pretty sure I was still recruited as a middle linebacker. First practice comes, they're like, hey, we need you to play D-line. And I'm like, yeah, that's okay. Like I'm fine with it.
You did it before.
Yeah, like I'll go play some 5 technique. That's fine.
Yeah.
And they had me playing 5 technique the beginning even of the first game. So because I had 2 practices, 1 walkthrough, and then we went to Dresden.
Yeah.
Had a pretty good game at 5 tech. I think I had like 6 tackles, 1 sack.
Okay.
During that game, the sack was a little iffy. The quarterback kind of just slipped in front of me, but whatever.
You take it. It's a sack.
Yeah. So then we have the summer break. I come back, and now we go to New Yorker, and now our defensive tackle gets hurt at New Yorker, and they're like, we need someone to go play 3 tech. Now I'm playing 3 tech and 2 tech against New Yorker, who don't have the smallest offensive lineman.
And your size is what?
I am 176 centimeters on a good day. And at the time, I think I weighed in at 93 kilos.
As a 3 tech.
As a 3 tech.
You play defensive tackle, for those who don't really know exactly football, but the inside T-line, where you have usually two guys against you who both weigh 120, 130 kilos. Yeah. That's ridiculous, but
I was a tiny defensive tackle.
But you managed it, right?
I lost to a lot of double teams. I would just usually collapse. But like I had my moments. I could, I was comfortable going from a 4-eye converting to a C pass rush. Like I was more of a run stopper. My pass rush moves aren't great. I don't have long arms.
I mean, especially from inside, it's freaking difficult. And if you don't have the physical tools to do, like, be a good pass rusher there. Yeah, we have one right now. It's like a different animal.
Right. So, yeah, I held my ground, I think, for being a smaller guy, but it definitely wasn't like, how would I say? My body was beat up a lot from like the games because I was just like not the right size for it.
Yeah. So you went like that, and you played some nose tackle too, or some zero tackle?
Against Cologne. I think I played like half of the game at zero tech.
So you were recruited as a Mike linebacker, defensive end, 3 tech, and you ended up playing a little bit of nose tackle. Yeah. I mean, you got to do what you got to do when the season is going on. So I view football. It's just a game. Like, true.
I don't care where. Like, football is a fun game. I love the game, so I really don't care where I play.
As long as you can play, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, if I can help the team, I'll help the team out.
Yep.
Now, do I prefer to do it at middle linebacker over zero tech? Yeah, but like this season, if God forbid something happens and we need me to replace you guys at defensive end, I'll do it for. Until you're back, but when you're back, please save me.
Yeah, no, but that's a perfect freaking team player, and you guys had a freaking crazy ass team last year.
Oh yeah,
you went like you had beasts everywhere. Like offense, how many points per game? 55.
I think we averaged 52.
Okay, sorry, a little bit high, but 52 points a game.
It was over 50 points a game. Is insanity.
That's crazy, and defense was a little bit shaky in times, but
our DBs were very good. Linebacking core and the front seven needed some work.
Yeah, but it's still a team sport. If your offense is so freaking dominant, like you can win games.
It was for the first time I was playing on an offensively dominant team, and it was so relieving. It's like because like usually I'd be like, oh, the defense gave up a score, we're done. Like
I know that
the offense doesn't know what to do. Like,
especially when you play like lower leagues in Europe, like in Estonia, it's like one touchdown. We might be screwed already in the first quarter.
Right, exactly. So for the first time, I was like, it's fine. Like even like if we mess up a play or even give up a touchdown, like it's okay. Like our offense will probably bail us out. Now, of course,
you don't want to do that, right?
Not, but like it gave a little bit of comfort.
Yeah, a little bit of breathing room.
There was no panic.
Okay, so and you ended up all the way to the German Bowl. Yeah, which was first time in Potsdam Royals history, right? I think so.
Pretty sure. Yeah.
And you went against Unicorns, who had dominated German league for 10
to 15 years.
Yeah, like little bit like when I was in Finland, like Helsinki Roosters in Finland, like they were really good for. And now it's like Skopje.
I think the Roosters won 5 or 6 championships in a row.
Something like that. And now it's Skopje, right?
Yeah, Skopje is on a 3-peat right now.
3-peat, right. And how was that experience? Like actually, because first of all, you played in Frankfurt. That's the big stadium. I think the NFL will play on that stadium this year. So. Yeah, I mean, that means it's a freaking NFL standard stadium, first of all, right? How was that experience, like playing in German Bowl? Like, you can argue the most important game in Europe's season, or like, because I think at the end of the season, Unicorns were number 1 and you guys were number 4 ranked by the top 20 ranking.
Yeah.
So like really good high level teams plus a freaking game itself. Like how was that experience?
It was, I mean, coming from, starting in Finland, playing for a tiny high school, paying for a tiny college, like the fact that I think, and it was apparently not that like popular of a German poll to watch. I think there was.
Oh really?
I think there may have been only like 17,000 fans was what was official number.
Okay.
But because apparently it gets up to like 25,000. And
Yeah, I've heard
like
that
the
too.
Dresden and Unicorns.
21, I think it was. Yeah,
before the COVID year. Where
after COVID. Right after COVID.
Yeah, like that one was apparently like huge.
Okay.
But for me, like it felt insane. The stadium was massive. The lights were bright. The fans were cheering. You know, you had your big Royals banners that literally took over like one whole like part of the stands.
Oh yeah, I've seen the picture here. The one end zone, right?
It's massive. And yeah, it was a surreal experience. I mean, I would have preferred to win, but like,
yeah, that would have been nice.
I felt like a pro athlete for
like a
2 days. Yeah.
Okay, like a
hotel and the I wasn't in the press conference, but like all the press stuff that was going on.
Oh really?
Yeah. The stadium. Just felt it was a very cool experience. I hope we
can get there.
Yeah, we hope we can get there, and this time I hope we get to hang out on the field a little bit longer than last time.
Oh, yeah, I heard about it. Yeah. I mean, but like it's a perfect segue. Like we're gonna play those same guys in 2 days. Actually, we are recording it on
the same guys, and honestly
at their home.
Yeah, and honestly, I hope so. I hope we face them in the bowl again. Obviously, we have to get there first.
Yeah, exactly. We need to take care of business first.
Yeah, we're focusing on 1-0.
Yeah, but we have to go to their place, which they haven't lost there since 2015, I believe so. So, I mean, they almost lost last week, but you saw the reason why they don't lose at home. You watch that game, like those. They are a freaking good team. Yeah. So, but to finish it up, it's actually I'm right on time. 1 hour.
Perfect.
Perfect timing. So you've had one heck of a football experience, right?
Yeah.
Like you've been all over the world, like just playing football and having fun, even though it's not professional, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But
at this point, I'd consider this pretty professional.
Yeah. At this point, yes. What you're like, if somebody wants to play football, like what would you tell them? Like, what is like football in Europe like? I know it's a tough question here, but like, what makes it beautiful? You kind of touched on it a little bit, but like for you personally, like...
Yeah, for me, the most important part has been like the camaraderie of the game. Like, having a great team around you. That's kind of what saved my will to play football, was to come to the Royals, was...
have a locker room, finally. Yeah. Again, sorry.
Yeah, like be in the locker room, and finally, like there's not a single person in the locker room that I like dislike. Like at the Royals is the first football team that I can say that like I will rally around these guys for whatever. Like if it's on or off the field, like I like everyone in our coaching staff, locker room, staff, people behind the scenes, like everyone is bought in. Like this is the first time in my football career where I've been able to say that. But for the people who start football, I think my best, I don't even know if it's advice, but like football is something you can start at any age, at any level, any size. That's most like, I'm not a big guy, but like I made essentially a career out of this thing.
Yep.
And I don't think there's a single person in this world who can't, unless you're missing like a limb, like you can probably do what I do. So.
Yeah, true. You just need to freaking work hard, and fortunately nowadays with all the internet access and everything, like there are so much knowledge about. Like for me, like I've almost like throughout my Estonian career, like I really didn't have a coach, but I was my own coach.
Yeah,
but freaking YouTube helps, you know.
Absolutely.
And even in Estonia now we have a freaking relatively stable club, like where you can join and play football. It's growing in Europe. Like NFL is now gonna be here in 5 times this season, 2 times in Germany. Like
5 times.
Yeah, that's ridiculous actually. But like we're gonna have a team, NFL team soon.
One day.
That would be pretty cool. But and you have now ELF, like it's pretty cool what they do, right? And it's getting more professional. So say like the opportunity is there, and it's a freaking, if you just sit down and learn this game, not even the X's and O's, just how the game works.
Yeah, learn how to throw a football, throw it around the beach. You'll probably inspire some kid to go join a football team.
Exactly. And it's a freaking beautiful game.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that isn't that popular right now, but I think it has potential.
Oh, very much.
In Europe, right?
Yep.
Okay. And with this one, we touched the NFL. What's your favorite NFL team?
It's
Do you have one?
I don't want to. I mean, 49ers right now. I used to be a Washington fan, but
look at that banner behind you. That's my team. Like, Washington. Yeah, right, that's the right one where you sit.
I used to be. Now that I look at this on the camcorder, this doesn't look great. Me next to the flag, but go Niners.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a good team. Like this season might be fun.
Would have won the Super Bowl if Brock Purdy was healthy.
Yeah, and trust me, as a fan of Giants, I would have loved to see those Eagles lose in the conference finals. That would have been nice. But I think that's it. Like, thanks for doing it. I mean, you're living next door for me.
I appreciate being here.
Yeah, we're gonna be here 6 months, hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we're gonna leave in October, middle of October. That's where the final game is, and that's our goal, right?
I'm not going nowhere. I'll be here.
Yeah, you trust. Yeah, true. But that's it for today. I'm not going to go into Estonian anymore. You get it. If you got that far, you probably don't understand this English.
Yep. Tere, Virugi poeg. Nägemisi.
Yep. Yeah, thanks for listening and näeme järgmine nädal siis, on ju. Okay, davai, tšau.